Thank you. Okay, so we're going to quickly go over some important elements of engagement. And like we said earlier, engagement could last a full week of PD sessions. So these are just some quick points to kind of keep in mind to help keep that engagement flowing and going through your classroom the whole year. So the first one, keeping it relevant and real, tying it into what they know, taking in their background knowledge, their personal experience, making things real. Why am I learning this? What am I doing? How is this going to help me? So just making sure that you can answer those questions and tie it into their real world.
And then technology rich. So we really are teaching kids that were born with iPads in their hands, really. And so just looking at them as digital natives, because that's what they are, but they are digital natives with gaming and kind of searching through apps, but not necessarily for educational types of purposes. So just don't assume because they are like little tech wizards that they're going to be wizards with an educational purpose behind it. And we kind of always say too that the tech will let you know when it needs to happen, because if you can do the same thing with pencil and paper and still yield the same end result, use the pencil and paper. Don't force the tech, because you don't want to take that important instructional time away unless tech can do something that's elevated. Okay.
Great. So keeping it positive, challenging, and open, challenging our kids so that they are not bored, keeping that level where we're still positive, we're open to changes, we're flexible as teachers. That is our nature. We have to be flexible. Okay, just letting our kids know that, hey, we are here for you. Bless you. Taking their learning styles into consideration while creating challenging, and some of you said rigorous activities that, yes, are in our instructional plan, and using that to kind of help promote that engagement, but not to the point where they will fail all the time, but also that it's not super easy for them all the time either. And really teaching them that, because our students now are so used to having everything instantly. If they can't figure it out, I don't get it. Can you help me? I don't understand. Without actually trying themselves. So really just focusing on that and allowing them to fail forward.
Yes, and then being collaborative and having those interactive collaborative activities. We all know kids love to talk, but to try and structure it in such a way that everybody can have that say. And then like little things that Lauren and I have done, they have their group buckets, they have their materials, we have some numbers, so we know there's accountability through the collaboration, because if not, they may just be talking, and if it's structured correctly, then they will discuss what you would like for them to discuss pertaining to the standards.
Yes. The culture of learning, learning with your kids. We learn from each other every day. We learn from our students. They learn from each other. So just allowing that to happen rather than just assuming that we are only going to be teaching them. But we learn a lot from them, especially when it comes to technology, being that they were basically born with what you said, iPads.
So when you are ready for that, then...
Yes. But, just being mindful of how they're learning and being open to, learning from them as well. Okay. So we are going to do a activity called a round robin. Raise your hand if you've ever done a round robin. Awesome. Okay, so here are the directions. And let's see. Okay. So we're going to have one person volunteer for each group to be a timer. Can we have a volunteer to be a timer for each group? Just need your phone. Great. Timer over here. Timer. Perfect. Timer. Timer. Great. Can we also have another volunteer from each group? Great. One volunteer. Volunteer. Awesome. Volunteer. Volunteer. You'll be starting. Okay. So those volunteers, I didn't preface it with what you were doing. So you will be starting our activity. So we have two questions here. Our timers, you're going to give every person 30 seconds to answer that question. This is your 30 seconds where you're the only one speaking and you get your voice heard. Whether you have spoken a lot today or not, this is your chance to share your thought. Everybody else is quiet. Timer, after the 30 seconds is up, you'll let them know and they'll move on to the second person. Once your whole group is finished with question one, we're just going to ask that you wait quietly. It's going to take 2 minutes to complete question one because we have groups of 4. Then after that 2 minutes, we will move on to the second question. So in class, because your groups may not always be even, if we allowed you to do both questions at once, there would probably be a good 3 or 4 minutes at the end that they had nothing to do. So that's when some of the behaviors could start. So we're going to give you 2 minutes for question 1, and then we'll tell you when we're finished with that and move on to question 2. All right, so timer, get ready, and you may begin. So what we would normally do with you guys is just make you go to a group. If this was our students, we're adults here, so we can handle like sitting quietly. But normally then you guys would have that like lull time where you'd like throw pencils at each other or like draw at your desks. So, you know, for our purposes, we just, you know, because they'll all take obviously longer. But thank you for not throwing pencils at each other. Okay, second question. We're going to move on to our second question. What are the goals of creating a culture for learning?
For one person.
Yes, for
and
sure.
Lauren was fantastic. So
Oh,
thank you.
no.
Yay,
Thank you.
Lauren.
Thank you.